You know what's even cooler than when you walk up to the car and the door handles presenting themselves to you and you just open it? Would be if they were fully automatic and presented the entire door and then close it for you without having to do anything. That's what we're going to do today in my Model 3. So it's a very chilly start to the morning, but we are going to try and install these. And by try, it means I have to do this, because if I rip this entire car apart and fail, that's going to be catastrophic. So kind of the plan of attack for me is I'm going to have to take the window out again, I think. And then I have to, I think I have to do that to be able to change the locking mechanism here. The latch, which I just don't think you can get out unless you take the window out. And then there's a bar that holds the window. I'm gonna have to loosen that and lean it forward to be able to get this out, I'm pretty sure. There's really not a lot of videos on this out there for instructions. And we're gonna have to rip the entire door off. And basically, we're gonna put in a soft closing mechanism, fish a bunch of wires through the conduit. We're gonna have to change the actuator right here, right there that I'm touching, and that might be interesting to get at. And then run a ton of wires in through here and basically in through the firewall in the front, and for both sides we're going to do that. And then we got to hook up to the battery. So let's get started here. Okay, I just kind of got stuff all over the place in my front entrance. So some of the stuff we'll need here is probably some socket wrenches. Definitely need a few of them. I know I need a 10 and a 13 and an 8. Some lubrication, which we're going to need because we got to fish a bunch of wires through the conduit in the side of the door. So we want to make that a little bit less painful. There's a couple pry tools. These are well, that's a Phillips, but I do have some Torx bits that we need. I think we need a 15, a pick just in case I need to pull any tabs. It sometimes makes it easier, but not necessarily required. Some electrical tapes, another Torx. No, that's not a Torx. So I got a few extras here just because unfortunately they're not labeled, so I got to just figure it out. Some 3M tape for the controller of the where there's a button, I guess, and some wire. And then this is the kit they sent me. Well, this is half of it. So this here is what actually holds the ECU in place. Basically, I don't know if it's right side up or not. I'll figure that out later. But this just sits in there. We got some wires for the positive and the negative. And I haven't decided if I really want to go through the firewall in the passenger footwell to the 12 volt, or if it might be easier to just run it under the back seat, where on the passenger side there's an access point to the 12 volt there, the post, the positive, and I can just ground the negative. I might do that, we'll see. This here is a radar sensor, which goes on the side view mirror, and this is a template because I have to drill into it to connect it to the mirror and then fish that wire through. This is the actual button, so you can connect which door you want to open, and that's what I'm going to use that 3M tape for, to put that on there. And I haven't decided 100% where I'm going to put it yet. They recommend putting it beside where the camera module comes in the cabin. It might be the best spot. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. What else we got here? This here is another sensor. This is to stop the door from hitting an object. And it goes in the little triangle window in the back. More wires. Main wiring harness that plugs into the ECU, and all these bundles of different wires. This here is a little button. I'm not installing this. This would be, if you don't have automatic doors, you would probably want to install this. And what that would mean is if you push on the tip of the door handle, it would activate that button and send the signal to open up the door. And you'd have to remove the piece from the OEM handle. I'm not doing that to mine because I have other things in place. Like there's a button for mine that'll change the colors and do other things. So this is optional, not installing. This here is the actuator motor, and on it, there's the arm here. It has a Torx bit, I think that's yeah, it's Torx. And I'm pretty sure I have to remove this to put the actuator in and then put it back in. So I think you take out the screw and then knock the pin out. What else we got? This here is another radar sensor that you hook up, and it goes inside the back bumper. So you would have to thread it through everything and take off your bumper and put it inside there. And this is supposed to prevent the door from opening if a vehicle is approaching you from the rear. I'm not installing this. It is optional. The company, they recommend that you install this, of course, because why wouldn't they include it and if they didn't want it installed? But I know another guy who runs a company that sells a lot of EV parts that I use for my Tesla, and he's told me it's not worth the hassle of installing this, in his opinion. Doesn't mean that he's right, but he said he installed it and he didn't find it that reliable and it wasn't worth the effort doing it, so I'm not going to do that. Then this would be the wire that connects to your canbus, I guess, to the to the computer of the car. And this will be found, the connection for this, in the passenger side footwell, which I've installed a few things to. The Ingenex mod that I have, as well as I guess my HDMI interface. So I'm just going to be piggybacking off them. And then these wires, I guess one probably goes to the left side, one goes to the right. Maybe, I'm not sure. I would think so. That would be logical. Then we got some drill bits in here. I guess you got your one for the big hole, and then drill for the small one, and some screws. Some zip ties are in there. And then we have the soft closing door latch, but it's incomplete. So I gotta look at my OEM one, because there's obviously supposed to be a manual release cable on this, as well as the main housing. I'm pretty sure, at least, unless this is just different, but I probably have to transfer the main housing to this one, and definitely the manual release cable. So that isn't too big of a deal, I don't think. And then we're gonna go get started in a second here. I just gotta put on some warmer clothes because I thought I was dressed warm enough, but I am not. Okay, here's a side-by-side of the original OEM door latch on the left here. It's my old one. It actually had failed on me and the door wouldn't close. The latch just would not hold. So something inside it, what catches it, was broken. Happened actually while I was out camping too, so that was fun. So I actually had to use a ratchet tie to hold my door shut, and I had to drive to Tesla, get one of these, and I just changed it at the campground. Really wasn't that hard. And then this is a casing that it sits in. So as you can see, this is the manual door release here that hooks up to the car. So we're gonna have to hook that on there. So I'll just have to unhook that, transfer it over. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I may not even show that. Unhook it there, pull that right out, transfer it to this one. This is a lot wider, a lot bigger than the other one, at least in terms of width. So I'm not sure if I have to put the casing on it or not. This guy here, I got a feeling that I don't have to, which is always an extra bonus. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I guess that's probably what that pick will come in handy for, maybe. Or I might be able to just pull it out. Probably need the pick, because I think what I'll have to do is pop it out here, yeah, and then get some slack and then put it in there. So easy enough. So I guess you just kind of turn it, put it in, and it may not be in quite far enough because I don't think there should be slack in this. Oh yeah, maybe. That's it. Yeah, so just put it in there. Of course, I'm not showing anything. Click it in. Probably need 2 hands to click that in, and that way when you pull on it, it'll release. Okay, so yeah, I got my slippers on because it's cold out. I haven't changed yet, so I'm just holding this with my foot. So if I manually pull on the end of the cord here, you can see it activates the latch. So no big deal transferring it over. Okay, so we're gonna get started, and first thing I'm gonna do is, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me just back up to see if you can see that. Yeah, I think so. There's the little reflector here. That's gotta come out. Just pop that out because there's a T25 bit that we gotta remove. And then there's another one. It's underneath the handle at the top here. So you just pop out the bracket. And then I took my mats out of my car because I need to access some stuff. So what we will do is take these out. Pretty easy to take these out. Just a T25 bit.
In 200 meters, turn left onto
And then I have a little box here. I'm going to throw them all in so I don't lose them. And then there's one underneath here too. So we'll take that guy out. I should have just put this in my drill, to be honest. It'd be quicker. They're fairly long actually, so it's not like they're hard to take out, but realistically you guys don't need to watch me do this, but whatever. It's the way it is. And we'll do one here. This actually T25 bit took me a while to find it because I had put it somewhere, and then I'm gonna grab my pry tool now because we're gonna take a few things off in a sec. Okay, so we're gonna stick our pry tool because we gotta take the tweeter off. And it just kind of pries up. It's not really hard at all. Pops up. There's a wire harness connecting to it. You can just pull it. One, yeah, pulls off. We'll also set this aside, and then the next thing we want to do is with our pry tool, the best spot is right in here usually. You just get in here, kind of. The first time you do this, it's going to be hard because it's really in here. Not that it's super easy. And just kind of work our way across, pull off, release it, and then this just lifts up. But don't drop it because we still have some things hooked up that we want to release. I don't know how well you can see this. Let's just move the camera here. Let's come get you so you can see what I'm doing. At least hopefully you can see. If you watched my other videos on how to do the handles, you would have seen me do this before. So you just want to pull this up here, and it's a bunch of wiring harnesses we need to release, all of them. The blue needs to be released. This needs to be released. The puddle light, and then we have to take out the manual door release. So once that's done, no big deal. I'm gonna set the phone down to do this because surely you guys can figure out how to pull these harnesses out. It's pretty easy, and I'll be back in a little bit once this is completely off. Another thing you need to do is you need to pop all these wires out of here, except for the speaker. I don't think we need to do anything about that, but we'll release anything that's really holding stuff. Pretty sure. Or actually, you know what? Maybe we don't need to take it fully off. It's been a little while since I've done this, so I'll just disconnect what I need to for now. Yeah, we will. We'll just disconnect stuff. Okay, it's been a little while since I've taken this apart, but no big deal. So yeah, we don't have to take off this wiring harness. We just gotta release these parts here, and then of course these connectors here, because we're gonna have to take the mirror off. So I guess I also gonna have to take off this whatever it is, weather stripping kind of stuff, which is no big deal. Same with the weather stripping gasket at the top. I'll do that in a bit. Actually, you know what? I'll probably do that now. Let's just see if I can film live. Hopefully, let's aim my camera. I mean, hopefully you guys can see. You're just gonna have to deal with it. So, I guess we'll start taking this guy out. So I just put a 10 mil. These are all 10s. Or no, they're 8s. Okay, give me a minute. I'll be back. I'm just gonna pause this. Okay, yeah, they're all 8 millimeters. I'm just gonna rock these out. Just quicker. You can use a socket if you need to. I normally do, but I just thought this time we won't use a ratchet, I should say. We're just gonna use the drill. Take them out. Yeah, in the back, there's 4 screws on the inside here, like I'm taking out now. Don't take those out ever. You'll be so sorry you did. These ones, you can. Alright, so now, I think I got them all. So this should just lift up and out okay now. I think so. Now, I probably don't need to take this all the way off, although maybe I will. Let's pull this back, and I'll kind of let it hang. Yeah, that should be okay for now. So then, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the window out, and the window is going inside. So for this, it's a 13 millimeter here and here, but first, we just pull on this here. And then this should just lift straight up pretty easily, and that'll come out. And then I'll pause the video so I can go find my 13 mil. And I'm not going to use the drill for this. I'm just going to do it by hand. And these don't get really that tight. It's surprisingly easy to take this out. So I will be back in a moment. Okay. So this one here. Barely have to put any torque on it at all. Like really this thing should, I mean, be a bit more than hand tight, but if you over tighten this, you're gonna crack your window. Although there is this bit of a plastic guard on it. So what I'll do, I guess, is just gonna loosen it for now. Once I have it somewhat loose, I'm gonna actually take this off. I'm just gonna do it by hand because I don't want to drop the bolt inside. I did that once on the other side, and it was actually kind of hard to find it. I don't have a magnet on me, so I'm just gonna carefully pull these out. There's one here and here. Carefully pull this out. Now that's all that's holding this window in. So yeah, I'm gonna have to actually, let me just check here. One thing I forgot to do is I usually mark the window before I take it out so I can set it in perfectly. So actually before I take the glass out, I'm gonna mark the window with some tape, and I just mark it in the position that it's in. I'll show you when I'm done. I just forgot to do that. So when I mark the window, what I do is I just put a piece of masking tape here with the window down, and I slice it, and that way when I put the window in, I just line it up so it's right where it was. I usually do 2 of them just because why not? Makes it a little bit easier because it's not hard to realign the window, but it's certainly a lot easier if you get it the first try perfect. So now the window that I have these bolts out, you should just lift right out. You kind of got to wiggle it a little bit. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but they got these little plastic clips with threads on them. So the glass is going inside the house because it's cold out and I don't want anything to happen. I'll be back. Okay, next thing I want to do, because I need to get at the closing mechanism, and this arm support, I guess, whatever it is, for the window, it's kind of in my way a little bit. So when I first did my automatic door handles, I didn't take this out, and it was so hard to get that thing in there. Had I known, you can just take off this rubber seal here, and there's a 10 mil here and here. This one I'm going to take out all the way. Okay, so that one is going to come out. So that'll allow the arm to move freely. This one, so I'm pretty sure that was the one I wanted. Is it? Yeah, it is. So this one here, I'm just going to loosen it. I'm not taking it all the way. Just enough to let this thing swing freely. So then I want to push it back because there's a hole, and then I can slide it forward a bit. Got a little bit of play. Okay. And then I want to then, I think this is also a T25, pretty sure. Or no, it's a 15. Okay, so I gotta take that out, but maybe I can pull the harness out first. Gotta check, see if I can get at it. If not, I gotta take it out. Let's see, where's my harness? Okay, yeah, the harness is in here. I can probably take that off. So that's what this little hook's good, because you pull the little white tab out, and then this should come right off pretty easily. Okay. Pull tab, and then I say easily, I mean sort of easy, because like it's not really hard, it's just sometimes a little finicky because you don't have a lot of room to work with in here, but it should be enough.
All right, you know what? Screw it. I'm taking it out first. I'll be back. I'm just gonna switch to a T15. Okay, I lied. It's not a 15, it's a 20. So there's just 3 bolts in here. So we're gonna take these out. So now the door latch should come out a little bit easier. Probably be easier to pull the wire out. Better be. Alright, let's see what we can do here. This should just pull it out. Yeah, it comes out. There we go. Oh yeah, this guy has to go through here. So you just kind of shove the rubber gasket through here, pull the old guy out. So that should give me a little bit more play now. Still don't have that wire harness disconnected. I don't remember it being this much of a pain last time. Maybe it was. Let's try my hook to pull it off now. I don't know if it's because it's cold or what, but we're gonna get it. Just gotta frig with both sides a little bit. She's in there tighter than I expected. Half the video spent watching me get out, take this stupid thing out. You know what? Maybe I can just pull it out a little bit more. That's better. I'm gonna grab some pliers just to squeeze it. Give me a sec. Gonna wiggle it carefully. Don't want to break it, but she's definitely in here pretty good. Holy crap. I don't remember this being in here so hard last time. There we go. Well, that was a pain in the ass. Okay, so I call that good enough. So now I'm gonna put my the soft close in. So this one here already has a harness, so this will connect to the pain in the ass one I just took out. And then there's this connector too, so I got to make sure I leave that hanging around and accessible for my next thing I do. Okay. So maybe I should connect it first. first two. Probably be a bit easier if I did that. So let's feed that through. Alright, at least good enough for now. Alright, see, same thing. We mount it in, screw it in. You guys don't need to watch literally every second of this. This video will be 5 hours if you do that. Okay, so now I got that hooked up. Not too bad. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it a little bit closer to see this. And this is where I may not be filming everything. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. So right here for the door actuator, there's a 13 mil here. I'm going to take that out, and then I'm not sure what they are in here, but I got to take this off. I'm guessing I can just use a pry tool and pop it out, so that way I can take out the old door actuator, because I got to put in the power one. So that's my next plan, and it's probably pretty tight, so I'll just have to use a socket here, get this in here. Yeah, it's tight, and we're just gonna go like this. It's gonna take a while, but whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna set this down and just pull that out. No big deal. Okay, so the Tesla door actuator is really not that hard to get out. This too, there's two 10 mil bolts you gotta take off. It's really tight, so you just gotta start it with the socket wrench. As low profile as you can get, and then kind of finish it with your fingers, because there's just not a lot of room. And inside here, you can put your hand down so you don't drop the bolts inside, which is what I did. Sorry, like I put my hand in to catch it, and then this comes out. So then now we have to grab the hand show one and put it inside. But just be careful, because once you've actually taken off the bolt right in there, that's what holds your door open. So it's going to want to close depending on how level you're parked. Clearly I'm parked on a slope, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it'll just kind of shove up in through the hole. We'll put this little cover thing back on, and then screw it back into place. Although it might be a good time with this knot here to start running some wires through here, since I have more freedom. So maybe I'll do that first. Okay, so I got my fishing wire in through here. So next I got to take off the trim here, which just kind of, oh yeah, there's a push pin in here. Get that out. So that'll come out. And then this kind of just pulls off. Some people like pull off the gasket here, but you really don't need to. So we'll just take this, put this aside, and then we got to run wires through here and into out through here. So I think we got to run 4. So we got to run the number 7, and this is also part of number 7. So this is our positive, and this is our negative, and then we got to run number 5. Obviously, the longer part of it from the that's the canbus connector, and then the button. So this one I got to be real careful, because it's just a bunch of small wires in here, and I wish this one was wrapped, but I got to run those. I think we cut out there, so yeah, I got to run the controller, the little button through there too. So I got 4 more wires that I got to go through. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's probably gonna be really tight the more I go, but I'm gonna run those. And once I get those in, then I will put in my actuator, because I just want more room here to fish stuff through. I don't want to break anything. So I'm gonna go with that for now, and we will be back once I've done that. Okay, so your can connector is right in here. It's actually up higher in here, but I have a bunch of other stuff in piggybacking off it. So I'm just gonna connect in here, because it's the easiest way to do it. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna run some wire underneath the carpet through the center console and out to the other side. I gotta run a few things there, because I guess maybe I will try to
run the power through the footwell and into the front trunk. We'll see, to get to the 12 volt. I'll play around and see what I think when I actually get close to it and see how difficult it actually is. If not, I'm running it through the back and under the passenger seat. Okay, so running it through the front, you can see the yellow wire. So kind of right in between, when you pull the carpet back, there's this little round thing. You can cut a little hole in that, and then it'll come out. It's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see where it comes out, right in through there. On the inside, I have some liquid electrical tape. I'm gonna put that on the inside just to seal it good. So now I'm gonna take the 10 mil off here for the positive, connect this. On the inside, the negative, we're gonna ground that to a unpainted bolt, and that should be, I think that's all the wires I gotta run through. I gotta double check, I forget. Okay, what I think, and I hope I'm right on this, is part of the positive here, obviously there's the fuse and this little connector, and then there's another one that's almost like an extension. What I think this extra one is for when you do the passenger door. So this would piggyback into that to give it power, and then connect to the wiring harness to the ECU board for that. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I'm not gonna have time to do the passenger door today, unfortunately. So I guess I'll just end up tucking these wires in and then run a couple more. So next I have to do, I think, so I've got these two in through here. I got to get this radar sensor through there as well. And then I guess just the main button, and then I can probably finish fishing all those wires that I just haven't done yet, and then put the actuator in. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish the rest of these wires, and I'll be back once I've done that. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long. Okay, so the button to open the door manually, this little guy here, picture of the car, it's these wires are super thin and they're not tied together, which I'm surprised. But so I'm actually gonna I've separated them. So the green one here is for the right side of the car, and the blue, red, and black is for the driver's side. So I'm gonna put electrical tape and fasten them together just to keep it a little easier to organize. I think that's probably a good idea. Okay, so the button is gonna probably go right there. So I'm gonna have to run it underneath here, down the pillar, and out here, which is fine. And then the green one goes to the other side, so I've already run it through here, and it's through the console, going behind the carpet. And then the main wire I have to again fish through here. So what I actually use is, this is from a wiper blade replacement, just because it's easiest to fish it through here. And I just kind of, in the little channel of the wiper blade that sits in the wiper, I just put the wire, poke this through, and then pull it out. It's actually really easy to fish it through this part here. You wouldn't be able to do it through here. You need an actual wire fish. So that would make this the third wire, and then the last one would just be this sensor for the back window. And then I gotta actually fish them through here, which is probably the hardest part. So I will be back once I've done that. I just wanted to show you how I put them through here, because it's really not too hard. It's a little bit tight to put your fingers in there, sort of, but doing this, it just makes it so much easier and quicker. Okay, so I'm just doing the last wire here. So again, what you do, just hopefully you can see this, it's sunny. You just wrap the tape around your wire, make it to a point here, just pull it through with lubrication. So this is one, this wire, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 wires going through here. So now I'm gonna put this back in here, I'll put this back in here, and I'm gonna put in the power actuator now. And then from here, it's just connect the wires, clean it up. Actually, no, that's not true. I still gotta take off the mirror. I haven't done that yet, but hopefully that's not too big of a deal. Anyway, I'm gonna do the door here for now and go from there. Okay, I lied. There's actually a 5th wire. I forgot about the negative, or the ground, which we're gonna ground it to right there. So that has to come here through there. So you actually have 5 wires. So now I'm gonna start connecting them, because
I'm trying to put the actuator in, but it won't reach, and there's no way I can close the door enough to get my finger in there, I don't think. So what I'm going to try and do, and this might be a mistake, is connect the wires and try to like see if the motor will push it to close the door. I don't know. I guess I'll find out. Okay, so I had to take a break and do stuff, and now it's dark. So I've got the actuator put back in, and pretty much all my wires connected. Because I'm not hooking up the bumper sensor, number 10 I don't need, and sorry, that's number 4, and number 10 I don't need, which was the button that goes in the handle if you don't have automatic handles. So the only one I need is, oops, dropping my light, is number 3, which is going to hook up to the radar sensor here. So I took one out already, 110 mil. I got to take the other one, and then I had to loosen this zip tie by just depressing the little tab and pulling it so you don't break it, because this clip is really hard to take out. And then once I take this off, I should be able to lift this up, and probably have to pull these back, I'm guessing. They probably just clip in, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a minute. And then take it off, and then I'll be back when I have it off and in the house, and then I'm gonna start drilling with the little template thing to attach the radar, and probably have to fish some wires through something there too, but hopefully it's not a big deal. And after that, I should be able to plug everything back in, put the window back, and test this out. Okay, so you gotta take out 3 clips, one here, one on the side, and one here, which goes actually on the side right in there. So there's 2 on the side, one here and here and here, and that exposes one last 10 millimeter that I have to take out, and then the mirror should lift up. So what I'm gonna do is hold on to it as I do it so it doesn't fall, because it could very well fall, because after that I don't think anything else is holding it. Okay, so now that I have the mirror off, I have to take out this part here. So what I'm gonna have to do is get my pry tool in here, pry this out, and see which way is the best to take it out. I'm gonna play around. This is not a one-handed job, that's for sure. So we'll play with that. I imagine this side might be the best to start with, so I'll try to get in there, but this has to come out because I have to put this radar sensor. Oh, sorry, I gotta set the phone down a bit. This sucker here, got a radar. It's gonna go on it somehow. I'm not quite sure yet, but it comes with a little template right here. So I'll figure that out and come back once I do. Okay, once you have this off, it's easier to start in the corner using the little pin part, and then start prying it slowly. And then this sucker here goes right flush with that. And then the kit comes with a little hole saw and another drill. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a hole, 3 small ones and 1 big guy. So I'll be back because you don't need to watch me drill, and I gotta let my dog out because he's crying. Okay, so I got my holes drawn through here. So then I guess the next thing I'm gonna do is put this guy, how the hell does he go on here? I don't know how it goes yet. I think it probably goes like that. Yeah, right in like that. And then, so I gotta, he'll basically sit in here like this. And I gotta run the cable through here. And then on the back of here, there's 3 little screw holes. So I will just screw them in with that. And then I can attach this back into here. And I'm gonna have to somehow fish a wire so it comes out here. Let's see how tight that is. Oh yeah, it'll be fun, but I'll make it happen. Okay, so I have the 3 little screws attached, just hand tight.
So then that puts the radar on there nice and flush. And then, so what I gotta do is I run this wire through here, but there's actually foam here that you can kind of pull out. And so I can actually run that wire through there, and then I'll just shove it in beside here, and then that should be fine. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I put it back on. So now the radar sensor's there, and it's pretty easy to snap back on. And I just basically have the wires ran out here. Sorry, make sure you can see it. This foam piece, I literally just pulled it like all the way out, ran the wire through the middle. So now I have this last wire here. This is number 3. So now I'm going to put the mirror back in with the 310mm, put the rubber clips back in, start plugging things in. Then I can put my window back in, and then finally it'll be time to test this out. Okay, so I've put the window back in, and this is why it's so important to have your tape, right? So it's just lined up where it was, so that way you don't have to adjust it. So this is back in, this is back in. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this panel back in, and I gotta figure out where I'm gonna pull these wires out. So I only need number 3 hanging out to connect to this one here. And then I have this one here, this blue, kind of aqua blue, which is going to connect to this blue one here. But for now, I'm just going to kind of set this in place and just kind of figure out where I can actually run these wires that would make the most sense. I might actually, well, we'll see. Hopefully I don't have to like drill a hole in here, but I may have to, because I'm not sure if there's going to be an opening somewhere without like pinching the wires. So I'll play around and I'll show you guys what I do. Okay, as I'm editing all these videos to make it into the YouTube video that hopefully you're made it this far into, at the end of this clip here, because I record these in sections when I do it, I don't just keep the camera rolling the whole time. I think I said I'll be back and show you what I did with my setup, but I never did. Either I wasn't recording or I was just so tired. I can't recall, but at one point in this video, I referenced the aqua blue extra cable. It actually connects to that right there. And that's after you've put the panel back in, and it gets tucked in to the actual door where the handle is, like when you're inside the car. It connects to that. But one thing that's interesting, because everything's pretty self-explanatory, plug and play, is the connector, the aqua blue that goes into this doesn't fit. Like, you can't make that fit normally. So I don't know if that's a manufacturing defect or whatnot. So what I actually had to do is on the kind of aqua blue plug, there's this like extra tab that prevents it from sliding into there. It's just a piece of plastic that's misshaped, and I just cut that off. I literally just, I think, snapped it with a pair of pliers, or I just took a knife and just carefully cut that tab off, because there's no wires inside it. It's just misshaped, because in these, obviously, there's like little alcoves or grooves, and it's pretty obvious how the plug goes in. So if you find the same thing, and maybe that's depending on where your car is manufactured or what year it is, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I had to do. And then when I did that, it fit perfectly and it was fine. And then from here, I just put out all the wires back, like these ones here. It's kind of like the reverse process of when you're taking the door apart is all you're doing. And there was no need to show all that. I mean, if you took it apart, you can put it back together pretty easily. As for the wire, for the wires here, where I ended up tucking them all was down in here, and it's really tight. There's not a lot of room. I did the best I could, and the ECU, once I put everything back in, I actually wrapped it in like bubble wrap, just to stop it from rattling around, just in case it did. And then one thing to be very cautious of before you put everything back is make sure all your wires that are hanging don't interfere with the door going up and down, because even the slightest thing making contact with the door, I don't know if there's some kind of sensor in there that I can't see, it will prevent your door, your window from going up and down. I did find this out in the past. doing my automatic door handles, because the cord hangs down and the window passes right by it, that any slight contact is going to give you problems. So make sure everything's completely free from the window. So before putting this panel back in, I do recommend putting the window up and down. And you know, you're gonna find out. If not, it's really not too hard. You don't have to bolt everything necessarily back in. You can just kind of connect a few things and test the window before you actually secure it all, and make sure it's moving all the way up and all the way down freely, just to save yourself having it put back together after you're probably exhausted from doing this, because it is a lot of work doing this. The last thing you want to do is be like, oh my God, seriously, I got to rip that door handle or door panel apart and take it off just to try and troubleshoot. So do it while you can. Because when I got this kit, it did not come with instructions, and you just kind of got to figure it out. So in all honesty, this left door, I think, took me like 8 or 10 hours, just ridiculous. And keep in mind, I'm trying to film at the same time, which does kind of slow me down a little bit, but it still took forever. Whereas when I did the passenger door, I think it took me 3 hours. So once you've done it, it's pretty easy. Okay, so I've got the door handle, the door put back together, the window. I still have to run one of the sensors to the back triangle window, clean up some of the wires, but we'll give it a test here. So if I were to walk up to the car, pull on it just a bit. That's awesome. So to close it, I can just either push the button, or I can push that and it'll open, and I can just kind of push on it to get it started. And if I stand in front of it, let's see if it stops, if the sensor works. So I'm standing here, and it should hit me in theory, like I'm this close. So let's see what happens. Ooh, it stopped. No, it notices I'm here. That's cool. And then it soft closes. Awesome. Okay, I don't have everything completely tidied yet, but let's test and see if we're working here. So I'm going to use my watch. Nice. And then the door opens all the way. And then I can close it with my watch. Now, let's go over here. So now let's go stand in front of it, of the door, and we'll just push this to open it. Oh, it didn't hit me. It missed me. That's cool. And then it closes. Soft closes. That is so cool. So I can unlatch it. Using my watch seems to work really well. And then I can also close it with my watch. Amazing. Talking about the button. Okay, so I've installed mine here. Yeah, I know my floor mats are kind of dirty. It's winter here. You know, we got snow all on the ground. It's cold as hell. So that's where I installed mine. This, I just have a, I'm gonna remove this. This, I have tape from an old install for the button for my HDMI interface, and I've just been lazy and haven't removed that tape. But realistically, I'm gonna reroute this, get rid of the tape so you don't even see it at some point. So this is where I put my button, as opposed to up here, which is where they recommend. I just didn't want it there because when I'm here driving, you can't see it. It works really good. It took me a bit to kind of figure it out. So at first I thought you would just, you know, for the passenger door, just push it once, and it's like, oh, it's not doing anything. But you actually have to push and hold it. And then when you let go, it stops. And then you can just push it once to close the door. Super easy. So, which is really handy if you have a passenger going in. So you just push and hold and let go. And then quick push, or push, closes the door. Same with the driver's door, but you have to push and hold, and it'll, as soon as you let go of the button, the door stops, which can be really handy if you are parked beside somebody, even though there's a sensor, which I've had zero issue with. It always stops when it's supposed to. But if it gets blocked by dirt or snow, you just don't know how reliable that thing can be, or at least at this point I don't. So you can just push and hold it and it'll stop where you want it to. I guess, you know, again, you could push it to close the door, but you just step on the brake when you get in and the door closes immediately. So it's definitely quicker to use your foot than to reach down and push that. But I think the button's fantastic. I am very happy with this. And all in all, I've had this for a few weeks now, and I think it is an awesome product. I am super happy with it. I recommend it to anybody. It's really not that terrible of an install. And hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit. And if you have any questions, shoot them my way, and I'll do the best I can to answer them.